Place, huh?
It's his, yeah, him and Jay. They raise turkeys together. By the way,
Cleanest barns you ever seen in your life. Serious.
What?
Cleanest barns you ever seen in your life.
Okay, gentlemen ready?
Ready? Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and call to order the December 8th, 2020 Board of Commissioners meeting.
Nathan, 1 moment.
We're going to call to order the December 8th, 2020 Board of Directors meeting. As is our custom, we'll go ahead and start with the opening prayer. And we have Mr. Scott Schneer with Pleasant View Church here this morning. Scott?
Morning.
With me, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, we come to you today. Ask that you watch over and be with the leaders. Thank you for the freedoms we enjoy and the opportunities that we have to worship you. Now we community leaders and everything here be done.
Amen. Thank you, Scott.
Come on in, guys.
We'll go ahead and welcome our county attorney and our highway supervisor. Here 2 minutes late to the meeting, but better late than never.
Nathan,
Busy at work, probably out paving roads. Yes, Ms.
will you
Banner.
remind everyone when they speak to go to the podium?
Oh, yes, everyone in the audience, if anyone does come up and speak, we'll need you to come to the podium.
State your name.
So state your name, and so it can be broadcast throughout. So, thank you. All right, everyone should have received a copy of the meeting minutes from November 24th. Are there any changes or revisions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Next up, we've got the Highway Department. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning. Just quickly with 900 East updates, everything's moving along nicely. We have all the parcels acquired. The reason I was late was I was upstairs recording documents, the last 2 sets. So we now have all the right-of-way recorded, and I think you guys have the final 2 claims coming your way after a while to pay the last 2 parcels. So that's good news. Good to see the project continue to move forward, so. Trying to meet that March 15th deadline for bids.
The bid's March 15th, so construction season next year as well.
Yeah, probably June, something like that. We'll see some action out there with the utilities before that. I've got a utility agreement here for you today, the last one. Go ahead, Grant.
I just wanted to say how positive it was that we got through that particular phase without having to do any condemnation. I mean, that takes a tremendous amount of work, and I know that Phil did a lot of talking with people to allow us to move ahead in more of a simple way. It's always hard to go the other route, so I just appreciate it when he got that done.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of work. I appreciate it too, Phil, because I know it's a lot of work, a lot of your time.
Thank you. It's kudos to the people that live out there too. You know, I think most of them realize that any road project, it takes some bending on all sides to make it happen, so.
Yeah, that's so true, but yeah, I think we got the town board voting here too. I'd like to welcome them as our guests. It's great having you here. We try to do this more often with the town boards. But on one hand, you look at these road projects and you think, well, these are no-brainer road projects. Who could possibly be against improving a road? And then you go deal with individual landowners and you deal with 100, 200 different personalities, and you are infringing upon their property to some degree, which, relatively speaking, is minimal. But one could jeopardize the whole project. And we've had cases where people thought it's going to increase their property taxes by paving their road and et cetera. But anyway, just from the folks listening, they may think, well, this was just kind of how hard could that have been? But what a job. And a great job to you. That shows the level of respect that people have for you in the community, and how we work together here. So well done.
Thank you. I do have one LPA claim voucher for 900 East this morning. This is for preliminary engineering, phase 4. The gross amount of the claim is $189,598.91, with 80% being federally reimbursable, for $151,679.13. This was for roadway design, bridge design, project management, utility coordination, permitting, and right-of-way engineering. The detailed bill is on the back from Lockmuller Group.
Are there any questions on the LPA clean voucher? If not, I'd entertain a motion to sign the voucher in the gross amount of $189,598.91 with 80% reimbursable.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay. And just real quickly here, Michael, since you were absent at the last meeting, we did the signature sheet for the plan sets.
Okay.
I'd like to go ahead and get you to sign that.
Yeah.
Here's some copies.
Okay.
For the title sheet on the plan set for phase 4 and 5.
She go to Grant.
You and Tom signed that at the last meeting.
Yep.
Okay, next item there, the REMC reimbursable utility agreement. This is for REMC to relocate their facilities outside of the current right-of-way. Some of their facilities were on easement, some of them were not, so they're being partially reimbursed to move those. The total amount of the contract is $407,600.91, the 80% being reimbursable, or the county match would be $81,520.18. And this would take signatures from all the board members.
And just for the viewers online, this is for 900 East, for the project from 100 North to 400 or wherever. And REMC has to move their utilities because of the construction project, so therefore the expense to do that is covered by us in the federal match.
We have some utilities that are reimbursable and some are not, depends on if they were on private easement currently.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
In REMC's case, they were partially, on the back of the contract, it shows where they were and were not. It's got copies of their easements.
Mhm.
I don't have any
Good.
issue with it, yeah.
Okay, are there any questions or discussions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner McCracken. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. I thought I heard you say 3 signatures, Phil.
It's back in a little piece.
Yeah, the one I gave Tom, I've got a signature sticky on.
Okay, so there's this one here.
That is not.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then the next item there, the Odin letter of support. We've been discussing with Odin, the West Street project in Odin. I'm glad you guys came this morning. I appreciate that. We got an estimate back, higher than what I'd originally told you guys at the last meeting, to complete the entire corridor. So we worked with Lockmuller Group trying to get that pared down some. What I had emailed you this morning is about the same number I told you at the last meeting, $7,300,400 and that would be for the shorter corridor. Start at Park Street and go just north of 58 to Maple Street. It would include the intersection at 58 and the entire roadway back down to where Kettleborough Road project currently stops at there at Park Street. And then also the approach roadways in between there.
How about, I mean, it's every driveway too, and
Yes.
Main Street and everything.
Driveway and be sidewalks on the east side of the roadway, which I believe there currently is most of the way. There's not the whole way right now. Between Main and 58. Sidewalks there currently, I believe. No? Okay. But it would be in the ADA ramps at all the intersections. Basically, there would be a sidewalk in this project starting at Park, going all the way north of the highway to Maple. East side.
Is Maple Street the first intersection then? Is that what it is, or?
Yes.
Okay,
Well, there's an alley before Maple.
okay.
Be the logical termini because it is an
Okay.
actual street.
So our cost be $1,460,000,
That would be split between us and Odin.
50/50,
Yeah.
now 500.
We were thinking that same thing, except a little different.
Yeah.
Mhm. Really? So, so on the 720,000, whatever that is, so the, I don't know the size of your budget, I'm assuming you guys are the largest municipality besides Washington. So what do you guys think is the timeline of raising the amount of funds you would need to raise? Is it 1 fiscal year, 2 fiscal years, or? Mm-hmm. Okay. I saw 2026 completion date, is that,
Yeah, so it's got
so,
time.
so we have several fiscal,
Breakdown.
so we have several fiscal years to fund this.
It
Okay,
would show the requirements.
okay. Right, so we pay as we go, so, okay, gotcha. So the 50/50 match is not problematic to you all? Okay,
Like I explained to them too, it's 100% upfront when we pay those bills, and then it's reimbursed back to us 80%. So that money's always coming and it's going and coming back. Some of it is. So
oh, gotcha.
yeah, there's a
Okay.
breakdown there.
The only exception to that is the construction portion, which is, it'll be a large check. NDOT requires that up front before they'll go ahead and award the contract. So basically, you go to bid comes in at $1 million, and your $250,000 is gonna be due to NDOT before they award the contract or the bid. That's the only exception with the reimbursement.
So on that $1 million example, use this as the real example with a $7.3 million. What's that $1 million turn into with these numbers? Is it 7.3? We take this out to bid and it comes back, with the example you gave,
You got right away and everything in there.
It'll
The
show on
design.
the sheet right there. It tells you, look at the construction.
I don't know
Shows
what
the local match would be.
what's construction?
That's-
The N,
Yeah, there at the bottom.
so the 3.9 million, so theoretically,
This is the check that'll have to be written on 3.9, 780,000.
so if that's half, that's,
That's the full amount.
Full amount.
So ours would be half of that, they would be half of that.
so 390,000 is, we'd have to write that check.
Correct.
And that lands in is that literally a 2026 landing?
right.
Okay, all right, so
Providing
that's,
we're awarded, this will be competitive.
yeah,
They're working with.
assuming we get the federal cost, the federal match, okay. I don't have any issues with the 50% match on the
I
county.
don't at all. I was disappointed the other day when I got the other figure.
Oh, yeah, I thought it'd go down, hopefully
And,
it'd go down, yeah.
It went up quite a bit, but to get this back down here to where we can actually move forward and still get across the highway, open up both those radiuses there on the highway, it's huge to get trucks in and out of there, so.
The longer we wait, the more it costs, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
kind of what we've seen on the county side.
Yeah, and I'm tickled pink with the numbers that came back, and I would support this project 100%.
Okay. Tom, what do you think?
That's a little better than what I was thinking.
All right, then don't tell us what you were thinking then. We got him right where we want.
Say it was 60/40?
Which side's which side's the 60? It's amazing how much sarcasm these things hide. I can't tell if he's being serious or. Okay, so let's talk about 800 North real quick, because I just want to make sure we are just wide open with our expectations. And I'm not passionate one way or the other. But when we were talking about this initially, it kind of came up, there's always multiple reasons why you do a project, right? So the opening the bottleneck to Odin, and then making 800 North safer, and getting the traffic off 800 North and putting it on 900 East, okay? So if that was truly part of the reason that we wanted to do it, then what type of restrictions were we as the county, this doesn't really relate to you all, but what sort of, because all this traffic would be diverted up through Odin. So, because I've been doing this for 6 years, which isn't 60, but 6, you learn just how things can go once you go live. But on 800 North, do we need to put restrictions on it? I thought you were gabbling over there. Do we need to put restrictions on it? Or, I mean, and let's just discuss 800 North for a minute. Or are we going to leave it wide open and, just a general ladies agreement? Or what are we going to do on 800 North?
So the restrictions I emailed to you all yesterday, the easiest thing to do would be to post a 10-ton load limit on it. That's going to alleviate the larger trucks from using the road. But it will be contingent upon enforcement. So it doesn't matter what we do, if we put the load limit on, lower the speed limit, post a no through trucks.
Right. I think we do the same thing we done on 550 East up there. It doesn't stop 100% of the traffic, but it sure does slow it down.
It would definitely discourage them.
Yeah.
And that's, You know, what we're looking at, guys, is the 800 North Road going east of JJ's to 231. We can't change the profile of the road. I mean, it's really dangerous because of the hills. And we got a lot of semi trucks, concrete trucks and things using the road. And we're trying to figure out a way, if we open this intersection up, we spent $40 million on Kendallburg Road. We want the truck traffic to use the safe route. So we're trying to encourage that.
That's the problem I had on 300 West. We're 50 south.
Right.
We couldn't stop them trucks.
What I'm trying to avoid is spending, and I look at I get 80% of it's reimbursable, but I look at it as a $7 million project because, I mean, that federal money comes, you look at your check stub, right? I mean, we're all paying this. What I want to avoid is spending $7.3 million on 900 East, and then 4 years down the road, spending $3 million on 800 North, just because we can't get people to comply. And so now we got, you know, both, and now you have a $10 million project. And if I know that going into it, then it's a little bit more palatable down the road. So, so the general stance is similar to what we did on 550 East. That seemed to mitigate some of that. You know, we're not going to be necessarily tyrants necessarily, but we're just going to expect that the majority of the traffic, especially if GPS pulls it up as the shortest route, then obviously 900 East, you know, if that is the shortest route, I think that would solve a lot of the problems.
I know down there, concrete trucks are running, people were mad.
Where on 300 West were you talking about?
300 West, we went down, concrete trucks went down, 450, across the highway.
What road would that be? That's not Edwardsport Road, right?
Round Barnyard,
Okay,
Round Barnyard.
Oh, you mean, you're talking about Hoosier Concrete going out through there?
gotcha, okay,
Tried to get them to stop, they,
okay.
we went to force it.
We've tried that in the past on different roads and
Yeah.
didn't get much luck doing that.
Yeah, I think there is a process. So I know Michael's at least tried that, which, you know, I think eventually they may get it updated. So
550 East there, you know, just on the west side of North Daviess High School. Once they got the interstate built, to get back to 57, that's why they was directing all the truck traffic down that way. Getting
Yeah.
down there to the end, and down to 1500 North, it was a nightmare for those trucks to get turned down there, and then
I mean, in Pike County, it says your GPS is wrong. No through traffic. I mean, it's the signs like.
so. But
All right.
I don't have any issue on 800 North.
Okay.
If we get the project finished and just going, I think we can do the same exact thing we done on 550 East up there. And if the sheriff happens to be out there and catches somebody, you know, they're gonna get fined.
Okay.
And, that way it would deter them a little bit. I mean, it's not gonna deter 100%, but maybe 80%. Cause it seems like up there, out Prairie that way, it's probably slowed that traffic down about 80%. There's probably still about 20% of them still going through there.
So on 550 East, but let's talk about 800 North, because what I'd like to do when we make the motion is kind of, you know, what would we want to do on 800 North? I got a 10-ton load limit. Was there anything else we want to do?
Well, with the post-it no through trucks, that's what Michael's proposing to do, is
Yeah.
And the 10-ton, or just no through trucks?
just no through trucks.
No through trucks on either end.
So they could go through 1000 North, 550,
Okay.
right?
Well, 550 doesn't go through, it hits the same
Well, you
areas.
can, they'll squiggle up 1200 to 800, go across.
The thing we can't do is, you know, there's small businesses in there that get deliveries by semi,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be very difficult to stop that.
Stop it all.
Right.
There is a ton of businesses to do there on that.
So on
the road.
550, we just put no through trucks. There's no load limit on 550?
There is not.
All right.
If
All right.
somebody wants concrete on 1100, the
Well-
concrete truck's gonna go 800.
They have
Well,
to.
they have to. I mean, that's just part of, that's
Yeah.
using,
Okay.
that's using good sense.
That's why I don't think we can completely stop it. If you put the 10-ton load limit on there, then it's going to handcuff the sheriff.
It'll hinder everything too.
Okay. No, good discussion. Okay, and as far as project lead, we typically serve as the project lead on projects like this. So I just want to make sure we have that discussion.
Yeah, Odin will
Odin
have
will
to,
be the lead. on it.
Odin would be the lead
Yeah,
you're the lead applicant.
since they own the facility, they have to be
Perfect,
the lead
perfect.
in Dot's eyes.
Perfect, similar to what we're doing in Montgomery with the bridge, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
I mean, I'm glad to make myself available for, you know, for.
I guess where I was thinking about it was the actual project. You know, you'll be how will that work? When this project, like right now, 900 East, I mean, obviously, we run that through you.
Right.
So will you still be overseeing this phase of the project, or will
It'd
they
be
have
over.
a?
They'll have their own ERC, which I think Mandy's already gotten that.
Okay, okay,
The
you guys are,
clerk
are fine with that? Yeah. Sure,
Yeah, Phil and I had met with Town Odin about, 6 weeks ago probably.
perfect.
And, Phil had actually offered his services to him to help him through the process, so.
Okay, great, great, yeah. I mean, my philosophy is you're part of the county, so the better you all do, the better we do. So whatever resources we have that can help you all out. Yeah. Yeah, I saw there was a petition going around about annexation, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. Well,
We think you're keepers.
I'm from Washington, and obviously my district goes up to 800 North, and I love the northern part of the county, but you guys are, there's a few of you on fire up there. I'll give you that. You guys got some firepower, but I like that though. I like that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, any other questions, discussions? Well, it sounds like there's general agreement for the 50-50 match. Town,
So for the record, you'll just need to talk about the funding source for the matching funds.
okay. We've been doing this for so long now, I forget what our funding source.
So the letter mentions the industrial commercial fund, MVH account, and what was the other item, Patty? It was on there. It's the center paragraph.
Industrial Commercial Fund, edit or MVH.
Okay, edit.
NDOT doesn't care, where the money comes from, so
Okay.
leaving it vague's good for them. I understand Patty why she's asking, because
Yeah.
council's gonna wanna know what
Oh,
we're thinking,
yeah.
what you're thinking.
Okay, I'll try to get this motion correct here, but I would entertain a motion to move forward with the Town of Odin West Street project on 900 East with a 50-50 match, with the Town of Odin being the lead, and with the county's portion coming from the Industrial Commercial Fund, edit, and/or MVH. And I would entertain that and a no-through truck sign on 800 North
The project's complete, yeah.
when the project's complete.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thanks again for you
Thank you
guys
very
being
much.
here. Look forward to working with you all.
I'll need to get on the council agenda. Is that this week or is it next
Tomorrow.
week?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. So, I don't know if one of you guys can come back, but I need the same approval from the council.
9 o'clock.
I certainly appreciate you making the trip down. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You're
thank
more
you
than
very
welcome to stay if you want to skedaddle, whatever. No disrespect.
People that at our meetings too.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thanks for coming. Have a Merry Christmas.
I just want to say there's a council signature there.
Oh, okay. Okay, next up, we got project updates.
Okay, good news. We have all of our shoulder stone back on the roads that we paved this year. We're continuing to work towards a little bit of cleanup here and there, doing some ditching in some folks' yards. But everything looks really good, I believe, and tickled with the projects, the way they turned out, so. You guys have anything on any of those or not?
No, I think Troy Road looks great. I mean, that's my kind of main road I take home. Sportsman's Road looks great. And,
You got new roads everywhere, don't you?
I know till I hit 1050 East, but then it's back to reality. That's all right. So yeah, I've not received any complaints. Why did you do this or? So yeah,
Yeah, all the blacktop roads look good, and Sportsman
Got
Road
some
does look
compliments
really good.
from,
yeah.
know who? Blacktop,
Oh, yeah? Good. Good deal.
back the way in Troy. Way we did Dawson Road, all out Troy.
Good deal. Glad to hear that.
Oh, I do have something. Okay, on the striping. I keep going back and forth on the striping.
Okay,
And I'm not passionate one direction or the other. But just like on Sportsman's Road, I know it was striped earlier on, and then it was sort of faded, and then, but now that Sportsman's Road's redone again, just having that striping on it is just, I just think it makes it a better road, and I don't really know why, it just feels like it makes it better. But regarding the center stripes, I'm not concerned about the white stripes, but just the center stripes on the road. I would just like to entertain the thought of allocating $20,000 of our budget, which is point something %, and then identifying the busiest X number of miles of road that would cover, and put center stripings down those, and just see how it looks, how it feels, and see if we like it or not. Worst case, we don't like it and we're out 20,000 and we don't do any more. Best case, we like it and we say, okay, let's go ahead and continue this on. I don't want to spend 100,000, but I mean 20,000 would get us what, 5-6 miles?
it's about
3,300 a mile, I thought, but I may be
I
wrong.
believe that's right, yeah.
Because you gotta pay for the whites at 30-some hundred a mile and the yellows at 30-some hundred.
Yeah, it's around 25 cents a lineal foot per stripe. So that's about $1 for
Well, they don't.
double yellows and outside
Yeah,
edges.
because I'm okay with no outside edges, because it was the same price it seemed, or basically double your price.
But
But-
the issue you're gonna have is what, you'll definitely have to pick the road, because it's gonna have to be at least a 20-foot road before you could do it, because an 18-foot road, you're adding,
Well,
you're
exactly.
taking width
It
from
does.
the road, yeah.
Well, that's a great point. Do we even have enough miles of those roads? So could we, I would like for us to at least look at our road system. Do we have roads that would actually qualify for the width and the average traffic count to necessitate putting center stripes down? And if so, spend up to $20,000 to do that.
Okay. So you want me to compile a list, basically?
Or just find the roads and just do them.
Okay.
I mean, if you find a road that's over 20, the appropriate width, it's probably gonna have an applicable traffic count. And it's, because you're only gonna be able to do 3 or 4 miles no matter what. So that's what I was thinking is, you know, because I would like it.
It definitely makes a nice finished looking job, I have to admit that.
I mean, just like 100 north from Bar Reeve to Washington, again, that may not be the busiest road, so scratch it if it's not. But Montgomery Road, for instance, you know, would be one that I would think of.
On the Montgomery roads, I got 2 people asking about it.
So, yeah, I'm just thinking, I mean, worst case, the risk to us is we don't want to start spending a bunch of money, so we cap it. So, but just find $20,000 worth of road that you feel is appropriate, maybe email it over to us, and then we'll decide. But
Okay.
I want to see what the commissioners think about that.
I'm still not a huge fan of striping just because the overall maintenance cost, long-term, you know, you're eating up a lot of dollars that could be going back for asphalt, or asphalt for preservation, you know. But to where, back to your point though, like Oden Kenneburg Road, it needs striping. I mean, to make that road work the way it's supposed to, it needs striping. Horseman's Road, it's gonna need the striping continuously from now on to maintain the
Yeah.
feature of that road, right? But some of these roads, some of the hilly roads like 800 North, I could see where that would work better. But then you're also, a lot of those roads are 18-foot wide, so it's not gonna, it doesn't work either.
Well, let's just see if there's one that is the best in class. I mean, and I'm not trying to be like any other county. DuBois County does center striping down all their paved roads in DuBois County. And it's about in every 5 to 15 year window that they restripe it. So theoretically, I agree, this can't turn into a cash cow. I'm 100% with that. But, you know, $25,000 a year, you know, cap, I mean, you're not going to be spending a ton of money over the course of time. And if you can get your high impact roads a little safer, then I think it's, you know, it's 0.5% of our budget at $5 million, whatever that math is. But anyway, I agree. I don't want to spend a bunch of money. I don't want a maintenance nightmare. And it's got to be the right road, the right width, the right terrain. But I would like to allow Phil to find up to $20,000 worth of road that he feels would be applicable, and then bring it back to us
What about a single stripe versus double stripe?
I've never seen that done.
Single stripe, is that even in the, can we even do that, a single stripe versus double stripe?
The thing about that, a lot of what can and can't be done is regulated in the MUTCD.
Right.
And if you don't do it the way the book specifies, then you can open
You're out of
yourself up for a
compliance.
lawsuit.
Yeah, okay, I was just asking the question.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we're not making a decision today, but if you can look at that in the next 60 days, couple months. Get back
But
to
you're saying there's no, you can't make a stripe down the middle because of regulations? I had people say, just put a stripe in the middle.
A single stripe.
Yeah, you know.
What about a single
yes.
passing lane stripe?
I'll research that. My gut feeling is no. But
Okay,
I will research it and find out. LTAP will be able to, Laura, LTAP will be able to tell me that.
okay, well, again, I just wanna make sure we're all on the
Yeah.
same page, that it's gotta be a cap, and it's gotta be the right parameters for the road. And so, okay, see what we can find out, get a couple months, let us know.
The thing you're looking for, Tom, is uniformity. If you leave here Daviess County and you go to Wyoming, what does that single stripe mean? Will it mean the same thing? You have to, it has to be conform across the US, Canada, you know what I mean? That's what that MUTCD does.
Okay, all right, well, thank you. Anything else for Phil? Phil, did you have anything else?
I don't, so,
Okay, all right, great, thank you for being here.
thank you guys.
Thanks, Phil.
All right, next up, the buggy fees. I just wanted this to be on our agenda really on an annual basis. This year, we did not have an opportunity to meet with the folks out in the communities due to the pandemic. But we let the folks know on the Amish Safety Committee that it's something we'd be looking at on an annual basis. Phil's done a great job showing them some of the expense allocations that we spend specifically in those areas, and how much or how little the buggy fees are actually covering. And the buggy fees that we do collect do go to the highway department. There's a lot of rumors, a lot of stuff out there. But anyway, just a real quick recap. Back in 2015, we raised $112,000, and we had 1,870 permits. Today, we have $195,000 and 2,600 permits. So about a 40% increase in permits, and about a 90% increase in the amount of funding. And before the Amish community gets too excited, there's still a big deficit there that we've got to continue to chip away on. But we raised it from $60 to $75. We asked them to try to ensure that they increase the quantity. And from last year to this year, there is a slight increase still. And I'm seeing less and less non-plated buggies, and all buggies have to be plated with their own plate, non-transferable, just like the English.
Yeah.
So I'd like to have this on there. I told him really $155 is what we pay as with our cars on average with this fuel tax, and that's kind of the number we probably need to be edging up to. But if they can ensure compliance, then we can ensure that we're as methodical as possible on our side. So I would like to entertain, we keep the $75 buggy fee the same for 2021 due to their efforts in their community.
Increasing the plate issues, yeah.
So I'll entertain a motion to have a 2021 buggy fee of $75.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Phil, thank you. All right, next up, we got the Safety Awareness Coronavirus Relief Grant. I think I saw Scott or Kathy. Maybe I didn't see Scott. So I believe this is in relation to the mobile signs. I thought Scott was going to be here today. Do we know where Scott's at by chance?
Yep.
Okay. Well, let me pull up this email here and see what we can find. Apologize. So we received the Safety Awareness Coronavirus Relief Grant is for advertising and specific requirements regarding COVID. They are going to be setting up vaccination clinics. They are going to need signage, and they found some signage available that would really suit their needs. Oh, here it is. Okay. So we got 2 message boards. Basically, these, okay, there's 2 sizes. One will be $7,345. Yep.
Pretty sure both of them.
Okay, perfect. Yep, that's the same email I got pulled up here. Perfect. So one of them's $7,345 for the unit and shipping. The larger one's a pull-behind trailer type. And these ran $14,998 each with $400 to $500 delivery. These are sold and serviced out of Evansville. So I guess today, I'm just gonna do some rough math here. It's 7345, 15,000, and let's call it 500 just in case. It's 845, 22,000. That's $22,845 roughly that they will need out of that coronavirus relief fund to purchase these. And I would like to entertain the motion to approve that expenditure.
What are we, which signs you talking about now?
Those 2 that you have. And so
Just one
there's,
of each, is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
one of each. There's that mobile one, and then there's one that's a trailer one. That one actually will go on a trailer too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one there too will. This one here is sitting on a trailer.
Yeah, so that's the trailer one for 14,000,
That one's
And-
7,400.
and this is the 7,000. So they would like one of each, is what Kelly was telling me last evening.
Okay.
And there's currently about $109,000 in the account.
For this
Nathan, that
current-
is also a reimbursable grant, the way that I understand the emails coming through. So we'll have to put the money up and then reimburse it. So we'll need to discuss the funding source on that. I don't know if Scott addressed that in his email to you or not.
No, the funding source has not been. Has not been discussed.
Well, all reimbursable grants have to have the funding source and it has to be appropriated. So we're kind of in a tough spot unless we can find a budget line item that we can pull the money from.
All right, let me go ahead and call Scott, because these vaccines are gonna be in like a week and a half, so, let me see if I can get a hold of him real quick. Just trying to look in our budgets.
Yes, this is Scott.
Hey, Scott, this is Nathan. Are you on site by chance? We're in a commissioners meeting and discussing those message boards.
No, I'm still in the office.
Okay, could you, I'm gonna go ahead and move to another agenda item. Could you come over to the commissioners meeting? We need to see what the funding source, on these message boards. I guess they're a reimbursable grant, so we need to see what the, or unless you can answer it now, what funding source we're gonna pay these out of until we're reimbursed.
I don't have that information. I was providing that information for the health department, so I don't know what funding, we haven't discussed what funding source that was coming out of. So.
Kathy, you have a cash
Okay.
balance in your immunization fund is what you're asking me. The only issue on that
If
is
we don't
the
decide today, you're not
the
gonna get them before the
appropriation
vaccination
process,
plan.
and I can talk to State Board of Accounts. So we can work through those details. If she has a cash balance, it's just the issue of the appropriation, of the timing of that.
Okay,
And so the council meeting is tomorrow for the end of the year,
okay.
and this grant has the end of the year deadline. So that's the point that we're trying to work through the details.
Okay, well, we'll try to Band-Aid a good enough motion today, Scott, but I talked to Kelly last night, and she, obviously, you all are gonna need these within a couple of weeks. So,
Yes.
as these things come up, one, I guess if it is truly a reimbursable, which I'm not questioning Patty, please let us know which funding source it is, just so that we can execute this quickly on our end.
Okay.
All right? All right, thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, so with that being said,
Actually, I don't know how we wanna, if we truly need these signs,
Yeah, what do you
I
think?
don't know how close we are on the commissioner's budget for county match monies. It's gonna be get reimbursed a certain time frame.
I'll have to check the,
Do we know what the time frame is for reimbursement on this grant?
well, the way that I understood the original grant was that it all had to be done, paid for by the end of the year, and then we submit the paperwork for reimbursement. I'll go back through, review the documents, see if there's any loopholes that we can work through. I mean, the issue that we have is the appropriation. And State Board of Accounts recently came on a memo that reminding us that all reimbursable grants still had to be appropriated. And that was the issue with the IFA on the previous grant.
Okay.
So, they just put us between a rock and a hard place many times to try to meet their
Right.
criteria and the deadlines at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable really tapping into any immunization funds, because, if anything, I'd rather sort of wing it if we can and use the
We
county.
need to really look at, I mean, several people need to get with me. We need to talk about the funding.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, there's no question. The fact that we're sitting here discussing this is definitely a problem that we don't expect to have again.
What
And
about
so,
the industrial fund? Signs?
okay, I don't think it really necessarily matters that,
Here at the end of the year, to be honest with you, on any appropriated budget line item that we could tap into,
Okay.
that's probably an option that we'll look at.
okay, so these are signs. I mean, we got the commercial and industrial road. It's all gonna be reimbursed. I don't really care.
I don't care. We actually, we need these signs, we need to get them ASAP, right? So
We do.
if we use it,
I mean, there
Budgets
are
to do that.
lines out there that we can look at, but we need to have a plan.
Okay, well, so obviously, the grant is gonna be the ones reimbursing us. So whenever those monies come in, they have to go to whichever one that we fund here. So today, we just need to get a motion made by the commissioners so that we can get this procurement process going. And then, could we allow the president of the commissioners to, if we agree today to do this out of the industrial and revolving fund, and then we decide tomorrow that there's actually another fund that's best allocated for it, can we change the motion to that?
You wouldn't be able to change the motion if you could leave it open-ended, that we will determine a funding
Perfect.
source, so that
And
you
we
don't
can-
name the source,
Well,
then we can be open.
Okay, perfect.
I do have one question, Patty. Said we take it out of that line item, which is, I don't know what the industrial road fund is, but
43501.
take it out this year, of course, it gets reset again next year, but that fund cannot get reallocated to that account, right? It goes back to county general.
Goes back to county general, that's correct.
Okay.
So that's the unique situation that we're in with the end of the year. If we are looking for appropriated funds, it may be a little bit more unusual in our use of that line item.
Right.
But we still have authorization to use it.
Right.
Mhm.
I think that'd be, it's actually a traffic sign, so
Mhm.
I don't have any problem with that line item to do that,
That money in that Portsmouth Road,
100%.
225?
yeah.
Okay,
So, I mean, that's the issue that we're looking at, we see a balance on a sheet right now.
Right.
The earmarked money and those
Okay.
things. Thank you, Phil.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
we'll have to explore some of those.
Well, we gotta make a decision today.
Well, you can,
Leave it open-ended, like you said, yeah, on the,
Okay,
on where the funds are coming from.
we'll just leave it open-ended, let's move on.
The
So,
only thing I do disagree with on this thing is the delivery charge.
sure, sure.
And, I would like whoever purchases these things, try to get the delivery charge
Could we,
down.
we tell Scott to go down and pick him up?
Yeah, and if it works out and nobody get down to get them, I would personally go down and get them, because I don't wanna,
Okay,
that's too many dollars to pick up a sign from 70 miles away.
yep. Okay, well, I'll change the amount, or take off the $500, so, okay, so I entertain a motion to purchase the two signs in the amount of $2,345, which is $500 less. for the signs only, no delivery charge, and then we'll have to coordinate picking up the one sign from Evansville. And it will be funded out of the most applicable account that we identify. And I would entertain that motion.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. And again, I'll talk to Scott and the EMA folks directly, but going forward, you've got to let us know where the stuff's funded out of. We don't have time for this, right? I mean, stuff's pretty important, so thank you for that cooperation. Okay, where are we at? Community correction appointments. We've got some terms that are ending and some turnover. Let's see here. We'll start reading along. The following terms expire and but have agreed to serve. So Tommy Hamilton and Travis Madison on the Community Corrections Advisory Board. Their terms have expired, but they have agreed to renew. So let me stop there. Are there any questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to reappoint Tommy Hamilton and Travis Madison to the Community Corrections Advisory Board.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, the following terms expire in 12/31, and we are asking that they be replaced. Todd Church will be retiring, and he would like to be reappointed with Trent McWilliams. Tanya Holsford is an attorney. She's no longer working as a DA. And they asked that it's filled with Brandon Smith. And then Ronnie Lentz is the layperson, would like to have that spot filled by Heather Racy. So I would entertain a motion to, if there's no objection,
No.
Well,
to approve.
talk to Grant,
Nope, no objection.
Brandon being on there.
But he's a good, he does a lot of defense work. He'll know the subject matter, and Tanya she's had some children and she's not actively practicing, so that's her suggestion. There would be a couple of different options, but definitely Brandon does a lot of work, so I
Yeah,
have no issues.
2 judges are on that board, though, aren't they? One of them
I believe so.
just didn't know where that would work or not.
It is an advisory board. It might be worth looking into and I'm sure they've thought about this, but it might be worth looking into if there are any restrictions on relatives. But assuming there's not, and I would be surprised if there is, then I think he'll do a good job.
I had Gary look at it. What he told me, that's the attorney.
All right, well, I
I have no objection.
I don't have any objection to it. I think Brandon will do a good job.
On that motion, so moved.
The motion, what's the steps here? The motion made by Commissioner Taylor, seconded by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Okay, from our advisory board. Okay, so I guess it's still community corrections. Charlie Wright has resigned, and although his term does not expire until 2023, his last day will be on 12/31/20.
Resigning then.
He's resigning, and they've asked for that spot to be filled by Yolanda Granger Bostick. So if there's no objections, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner McCracken,
Second.
second by Commissioner Taylor. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. Okay. All right, now we've got some signing to do here. And then as we're signing these, if we could reach out to some of the board appointments. I know some of us have already started. I know some of the boards, we have more interest from new people, and I think anytime we can get fresh blood, fresh perspectives, give the current folks a rest, and we'll certainly will evaluate doing that. So I'll be contacting some folks, and
I'm down to 2 people on my list I've still got to contact. write Ron on the Tom's levy board. Do you want that one?
What?
On the appointments for the levy board.
Oh, and the levy.
Tom sits on that. I don't have any desire unless you have a desire.
Yeah, I was on it before, but, nah,
You're right, I'll just write Ron's on there and let him know he's got that one.
yeah, congratulate him. All right. There's that. Okay, Board of Health, resignation, Board of Health appointment. What do we get? Did I miss something in that? I may have missed something in that packet.
There's the Board of Health. I don't know what I got.
In that packet you have
Oh,
there?
here.
I don't know if there's another email or what that's referring to. I didn't see anything in here. Patty, oh, hold on, here it is.
So Phillips,
I got it. Yep, Doc Phillips. Okay, this is the Board of Health. Dr. Phillips has been on the Board of Health, and they are asking to, he's retiring from the Board of Health. It looks like he's been on there for, 19, 20 years, so yeah, he's done his term. Amanda Ash,
we'll have to
or
question.
Mandy, what's that?
We'll have to question him.
Oh, who's got some questionable relatives, but we can't judge the kid by the parents, you know. Hold on now, all the Ashes out there are probably wondering, Daviess through my family. Her maiden name is not Ash. And I better continue on while my auditor is not getting too upset. So, Mandy Ash is the appointment that they would like for Doc Phillips. I think Mandy would do an excellent job. I'd entertain a motion to appoint Mandy Ash to the Daviess County Board of Health.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes 3-0. All right, thank you. All right. Got to the end of the pile. Anything else we need to cover? Think of, Grant? From the audience?
There's
Kathy?
some discussion with Jeff and Kathy about a handful of things. I didn't know if you want to speak to that.
Kathy, if you do.
Oh, yeah, I was going to make it while she comes up to the podium regarding the mask mandate. There is a state-ordered mask mandate throughout the county. Obviously, we've tried to be as flexible and as cooperative as we can with the business establishments throughout the entire county. It's not any particular one area. But I know I had 2 phone calls yesterday where there was just blatant disregard by the business owners of any of their employees in the food industry from wearing a mask. And
That's not good.
and I told both of them, look, I don't make the decisions, but if I did, I'd shut them both down. Because, it's like typhoid and Mary, right? Maybe not, maybe it is. But anyway, some folks are not taking this seriously. They think we wear these things because we enjoy them. And we want to show our faces just like anyone else does. So if it's up to Commissioner Gabhart, I say pull their permits after they've been warned. But this isn't up to Commissioner Gabhart. But I just wanted to give you the floor, see if you had what you needed from us to help you guys out.
The mask mandate, has been in place for a long time, and we still struggle with business owners and residents. But the business owners, especially the food establishments, that has been in place since day one. It's never been an option. So we have the mandate, but it's an unfunded mandate, meaning we have no ability to, other than pull their food permits. So I know Jeff's been talking to Grant. They've been warned. Dr. Hosoppel has sent letters. He's restricted, clientele. Tomorrow it will be announced we will be red in Daviess County. I got a phone call. We have 5 critical in the hospital right now that probably won't make it. So, I don't know what else we can do. It's a very sad place right now.
When I talked to Jeff today, and he called yesterday, we talked a little bit today, and something that I suggest maybe that we do is there's some counties that have been successful in reaching out to these businesses, and just the types of language that they've used, that perhaps we should borrow. I asked Jeff to, Vanderburgh County and a couple of other places that have a process, and I would, if the commissioners are okay with that, and I would like us to entertain that as far as reaching out to them and then potentially doing what we need to do locally to enforce some of this. Obviously, we don't want to spend a lot of money on enforcement. It's a statewide thing, and a lot of people have told me, let the state enforce it. And so, but I guess I'm looking for your feedback and direction that you all want to go, and you also, Kathy.
It's very difficult to enforce, it really is. But it is the right thing to do as far as the safety of our community, but I do not know how to enforce it.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
And I definitely want to dispel any myths out there, because these business owners are very clever in playing different folks against each other. And I know I've been extremely cooperative, extremely flexible with them, extremely pro-business for sure, because, as a business owner. But I spoke to two of them directly yesterday, and I can tell you they are not taking this seriously. And these are folks I've talked with throughout the year, acting like this mask mandate's a brand new thing. And they have these huge facilities out on 900 East where they have thousands of people coming in on the weekend. And they're just kind of throwing it back in my face that, what are we supposed to do? So.
It's a very tough, it is a very sticky, tough situation.
But I think the days of, the good news about it is our folks always reach out, at least from my experience, and maybe not always, but they reach out, try to be cordial, try to be polite. They don't make demands. But then we're to the level now where we've got to start dropping the hammer on some of these folks. And so yesterday, I sent some photos I received yesterday, these meat packing plants with 30 people in the back, not one with a mask on, mass packing meat products.
And they have, they have positive cases in their facility. So
Have positive COVID patients packing hamburger meat that at least 500 people yesterday went in that facility, at least. So enough's enough. We need to warn them and shut them down is what I'd like to see done. So it's just my opinion.
Definitely food driven, that's scary. Especially, I understand some of these larger gatherings and people be awful hard for the business owner to place it, especially when you got thousands of people showing up, but is it still, are we above the 25 grouped?
yeah, tomorrow will be red again, so
It'll be back down to
it'll
20.
be limited again under the governor's order
Wow.
directive, but.
I don't know how some of these places are gathering thousands of people together.
Yeah, I think I don't know, but they are.
Well, how's the essential businesses and stuff? How we,
The essential businesses?
yeah, are we, like, is that locker talking about, is it essential?
Yes, they are essential. However, they have to follow the governor's mandate, and the mask mandate is from the governor and has been since day one. Even if you're essential or not essential, if you're a restaurant or serve food, packaged food, you fall to that category. So the mask mandate is never changed for those businesses.
I guess I would just like to set the table straight, because what's happening is I think these folks are contacting kind of whoever their best ally is. They're either calling me or Michael or Grant and kind of trying to weave around it. I would like to set a tone that going forward, the Board of Commissioners, whoever the Board of Health says, okay, you've had your X number of warning, here's your written warning, and here's what's going to happen, that once you direct the county attorney, do whatever needs to be done, that the county commissioners basically say, we totally support the health department and do what they say. And not that that's not happening.
Right.
But the commissioners need to stand behind the health department, and we've got to start making examples. And if we shut one of these folks down for a day or two during the Christmas season, they will start masking up. So I don't wanna shut them down, but it'll be their choice if they blatantly disregard it. So I guess I'm just done playing with them, but,
I'm done playing with it too. I'm not gonna mention any names, but I know one of the businesses that are not wearing masks, that is food related, they received a sizable grant from CARES Act. So, I mean, because they're deemed essential, right? And if they can't follow the rules, I have no use for them.
well, we all suffer. We shut down schools, we shut down basketball games, we shut down our family activities, Thanksgiving, because someone says, I ain't wearing no stupid mask, you know? So anyway, I think we really need to start dropping the hammer on them. And clearly after, you know, the fifth, sixth time or whatever your sequence is, we gotta start making some examples.
So we'll continue to work with Jeff and Grant to get the appropriate language and,
Well, I mean, I don't know what language Grant's talking about, but if we send them a written warning, say we're gonna shut you down if you don't comply, and they don't comply, I wanna see them shut down.
So real quick, we have a cease and desist letter process. I don't know who is to get these particular notices, but I think it's reasonable just to advertise it. If we know of someone who's not complying, we send them this particular letter, and you all can do that. I can prep a template and you can send it out. And then if you still see that that's not happening, then the commissioners are saying that they'll stand behind you relative to pulling permits on food establishments specifically. Some places we don't have that local permitting piece, so
Right.
I don't know what we will do or what we should do, but
If
if
we just
we do
focus on
have
the
the local
food-
piece, then we can.
We can just focus on focusing on the food side is gonna be more than we can have resources for anyway, right? I mean, relatively speaking. We just focus on that, we know we have authority over that, and some of the other stuff we just don't have authority over. But we know we have authority over food. If we can get that template where you guys can just drop and go, and it's not like an extended, or if you need us to sign it, whatever, because I mean, you guys are taking a lot of heat out there. We just want to help you keep the public safe and make sure people are abiding by the mask mandate.
Does that help? I mean, is there other feedback I mean, we're live right now, so we can essentially give feedback and the whole world can see it.
Is this only on red, orange?
no, the mask mandate is no matter what level you are. The red status tomorrow, though, will put in some additional restrictions that are set forth by the State Department of Health. But regardless of what status we're in, the mask mandate is a governor's executive
Well,
order.
yeah.
I think part of the issue too is that Commissioner Gabbard's right, and you guys are right. Everybody kind of needs to be on the same page, okay? And a lot of this is someone will call me and ask me a question. Someone will call one of them or them and ask them a question. When we communicate, it has to be clear. And it has to be everybody, all of us on the same page. Now, we may not necessarily agree with that, but it is what it is as it relates to the rules and where we're at.
Well, the perfect example, one of these business owners I talked to yesterday, he called me 2 weeks ago, and he was asking me a series of questions, and they were all pretty easy questions. I knew the answers to them. And then at the end of all that, he said, well, the health department said, I can't do this. I was like, well, then forget everything I just said. That is the law. So they know they already have the answer, and they're playing you against everyone else. So now I'm like, okay, have you already talked to the health department? You know, so I'm just saying, they're trying to stay open. I get it.
And we need them open. I mean,
We
we
need
do.
'em.
We need our economy, we need the restaurants open, but we need people to follow the rules for everyone's safety.
I mean, the mask thing, I don't enjoy wearing this mask any more than anybody else does, but I wear it every time I go out in public. If I'm outside in open air, I don't wear it, but if I'm inside a building where there's closed spaces, I always respectful put it on. I don't enjoy it.
Well, that's a good point. You don't have to sleep with these stupid things on, right? I mean, it's just when you're within 6 feet with each other and inside
Or
closed spaces
working around food.
or working around food, so.
So the suggestion, just to bring this back together, the suggestion that I've heard is that, and I talked with Jeff earlier, he's gonna pull the language that we've seen, I believe he said Vanderburgh County. We're gonna send a single letter out to some of these that we know. We'll say, look, if you're caught in brazen violation of this, then we are gonna pull your local food establishment permit. And then if we see that, and that happens, they're gonna have to live with that consequence. Now, if it's one person that's,
Oh, yeah,
that's
yeah.
doing whatever, that's different, but, we'll let, you know, I do think that we need to stand behind the health department and give them
So
clear
we've already-
guidance,
We've already wrote,
but also clear guidance to the public and those
Right.
people that are,
the commissioners already gave a letter of support to the health department already on this deal, so I mean, we're behind them 100%, so.
Yeah, our phones are gonna ring, which is fine. But, and then, as long as in 2021, we can have a county-wide mask burning event, then it's all will be worth it.
I'll bring the marshmallows.
Yeah, we're gonna burn these suckers in 2021 if we all work together here.
So just so you know, the vaccine is gonna arrive shortly. There is a hierarchy of who will receive vaccine, but the health department has been working over the last few months on making sure that we're ready, prepared to get the mass vaccine out when it gets to that point. So we are working, it changes daily, but right now, it looks like we're gonna have it very soon.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Good.
Your lives are gonna get a lot busier, so let us know what you need when you need it, so.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, if there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to, thank you for all that discussion. I think that was just helpful for me, for sure. Hopefully for everybody. I would entertain a motion, if there's no other discussion, on any other topics.
Nope.
Tom, you good?
I'm good.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the payroll claims and to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
A motion made by Commissioner Taylor. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner McCracken. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Have a great week, everyone.